Live to camera, here's the Treasurer, Jim Chalmers.
Is now the law of the land. So the Senate has passed Labor's tax cuts from Tuesday night's budget. And this morning, Angus Taylor has made a stunning admission. Angus Taylor has said that if they win the election, the coalition will legislate to increase taxes on every Australian taxpayer. Angus Taylor has now confirmed that under Peter Dutton, Australians will earn less and keep less of what they earn. As far as we know, this is an unprecedented policy to take to an election. It means that anything and everything else that Peter Dutton says tonight is peripheral to the fact that his main commitment in the election is that if he wins the election, Australian workers will pay higher taxes. This is absolutely unprecedented. It means that their election platform is higher taxes for workers, secret cuts, and no ongoing help with the cost of living. Now, when it comes to higher taxes on Australian workers, this is now not just something that the Labor Party is asserting. It is something that Angus Taylor has now admitted. Under Angus Taylor and Peter Dutton, they will legislate to increase taxes on every Australian worker. Now, this is a proper brain explosion from the coalition. This is a proper brain snap. It beggars belief that when Australians are under cost of living pressure, their main policy is to increase income taxes on every Australian taxpayer. Now, this decision will haunt them every single day of the election campaign. We will not let them squirm off this hook. This means that if Peter Dutton wins the election, every Australian taxpayer will be worse off. If Peter Dutton had his way, Australians would be thousands of dollars worse off already because of his position on energy rebates and tax cuts and wages. He has confirmed, and they have confirmed, every Australian taxpayer will be worse off under Peter Dutton. They have made that very, very clear. The tax cuts are not safe under Peter Dutton. Australian living standards and wages and these tax cuts are not safe if the coalition wins the election. That is not just something that Labor is saying, that is something that Angus Taylor has admitted today. This is an absolutely stunning admission. This will haunt them every day of the campaign. This is the most important difference between Labor and the coalition in the context of Peter Dutton's reply. No matter what he says tonight, he's taken to the election higher taxes on Australian workers, and we won't let them forget it. We'll just impose some order on it because I've got to be relatively brief. We'll go Izzy and we'll go these two, then Shane, and then Tom, and then we're done.
Are you back in the coalition's plan to slash the fuel excise?
Well, what the coalition seems to be proposing is no ongoing cost of living help for Australians. Their platform is for higher taxes for workers, secret cuts to pay for nuclear reactors, and no ongoing help with the cost of living. That's what they're proposing. Up the back? No, I've given you a list, sorry.
Will you match it?
No, we've got our own budget, we've got our own cost of living agenda, and it's ongoing cost of living help. Not just the tax cuts, but energy bill rebates, stronger Medicare, cheaper medicines, cutting student debt. At almost every turn, Peter Dutton has opposed our efforts to help people with the cost of living, and tonight he's proposing no ongoing help with the cost of living, at the same time as they've admitted now that if they win the election, there will be higher income taxes on every Australian taxpayer.
Surely households need stuff now to help with the cost of living, though?
Well, there's a substantial amount of cost of living help in the budget, which is immediate. Strengthening Medicare and helping with energy bills in the second half of the year. A number of initiatives that we have funded and proposed and put forward in our budget as essential components of our economic plan. So what Peter Dutton is proposing is no ongoing help with the cost of living, higher taxes on every Australian taxpayer, and secret cuts to pay for his nuclear reactors. I said we'll go to Shane.
You've said that you've gone very hard there, but of course Angus Taylor and Peter Dutton could come up with their own tax plan, which would be more generous. And just perhaps to correct you, you and the last government went to the last election promising a tax increase by axing the low and middle income tax offset. No. It's not unprecedented, is it, to say you will increase taxes?
Well, Shane, you and I have spoken about this before, and you should know that my predecessor, Josh Frydenberg, legislated the low and middle income tax offset to end. That was legislated to end. It wasn't a decision that we took to end it. it was legislated to end in 2022. And you and I have gone round and round on that before, but I do not agree with your description of what happened with the Lamito. Josh Frydenberg legislated for that to end. What we're talking about here is something very different. We're talking about Angus Taylor and Peter Dutton saying to the people of Australia that if they win, they will come into the House of Representatives and the Senate and they will legislate higher income taxes for every single Australian taxpayer. As far as I'm aware, that's unprecedented. I said I'd go here. I'll come to you, Julia, and then we're done.
Many Australians won't pay attention to the election process until the campaign's called. They probably think a lot of you in here are a bit like Lego minifigures with interchangeable heads. In the case of you, yourself and Angus Taylor, what's your elevator pitch to people out there who are just starting to get warmed up as to why are you better than the other bloke?
Well, under Labor, Australians will earn more and keep more of what they earn, and under Peter Dutton, Australians will earn less and keep less of what they earn. And that's not just something that we're saying, that's something that the Coalition has confirmed today. You know, this absolute brain explosion from Angus Taylor means one thing: higher taxes on every single Australian taxpayer. They have committed to legislating higher taxes on Australian workers if they win the election. Last one, then I've got to go.
If he is to offer people more money back each week than the tax cuts, you worried this would be a more attractive policy to voters?
We're talking about ongoing cost of living help in the form of Australians keeping more of what they earn. This is a proper, ongoing, enduring change to the tax system, which will see Australians benefit well into the future. What Peter Dutton is proposing is higher taxes for every Australian taxpayer, secret cuts to pay for his nuclear reactors, and no ongoing help with the cost of living. Thanks very much.